Hello, and welcome to my French Revolution presentation. The French Revolution was a revolution in France from 1789 to 1799. It led to the end of the monarchy and the beginning of the French Republic to many wars. King Louis XVI was executed in 1793. The revolution ended when Napoleon Bonaparte took power in November of 1799. The ideas of the revolution began to make ordinary people want more power. They took inspiration from the American Revolution, who by now had created a country in which the people had the power instead of a king. During the reign of King Louis XV and King Louis XVI, France had been helping the American Revolution and had been part of the 7 Years' War. They helped the American Revolution to weaken their longtime enemy, which was the British Empire. This revolution idea had now been introduced to the people of France. During this time, there was a high price of bread and there were low wages being given to labor workers, and this caused the ordinary people to suffer from hunger and malnutrition. This made them hate the rich nobles, who had the money to eat well and build huge, luxurious homes. And to top it all off, the Catholic Church had become very corrupt, and they started to tax on crops, which really hurt the peasants and farmers. The government was showing weaknesses when King Louis XVI was broke. So in the 1780s, France went into an economical depression of bad harvests and rising prices. So in 1789, the king was forced to call in a States General or raise taxes due to money troubles. He didn't receive a lot of money from the estates, but instead received thousands of complaints from the Third Estate. The people of the Third Estate were enraged of all this flow of taxes going to the monarch. He tried to close down the estates, but it was too late. There are three main estates that represent the people of France, the Third Estate being the most important. It represents 98% of the non-aristocratic people. In 1789, the Constituent Assembly abolished federalism. The National Assembly created the Rights of Man, which was an attempt at a new system of equal opportunity, freedom of speech, popular sovereignty, and representative government for the Third Estate. The National Assembly met in Versailles, while fear and violence consumed the capital. The revolution starts with the storming of Bastille in July 14, 1789. The peasants and farmers pursued for arms as a revolt against the fort of Bastille. They overtook the guards, they murdered the governor, and the capture of Bastille was a huge victory for the common folk of France. And this date is celebrated in France as a national holiday. In response to the revolts on September 3, 1791, France created its first constitution. It established the constitutional monarchy. With this constitution, the king had veto power and was able to appoint ministers. However, this compromise did not sit well with influential radicals, who began to gain support to propose a more republican-style government and put King Louis XVI on trial. A group of insurgents, led by extreme Jacobins, attacked the royal resistance in Paris and arrested the king on August 10, 1792. The Legislative Assembly was replaced by the National Convention, which abolished monarchy and established the French Republic. By early 1792, both radical parties were eager to spread their revolutionary ideas through France. On January 21, 1793, King Louis XVI was condemned to death for treason and crimes against the state by guillotine. With King Louis dead in June 1793, the Jacobins took control of the National Convention, and with this, France dived into the Reign of Terror, a 10-month terror period resulting in thousands being guillotined during the Revolution. The end of the French Revolution happened when the National Convention approved a new constitution that created France's first bicameral legislature, meaning that authority would lie to the 5-member directory who were appointed by Parliament. And on November 9, 1799, with frustration with their leadership and reached for the final breakthrough, Napoleon Bonaparte abolished the Directory and appointed himself France's first consul. This event marked the end of the French Revolution and the beginning of the Napoleonic era. In 1803, Napoleon made France engage in the Napoleonic Wars, which was a series of major conflicts with various nations. In this time period, Napoleon sold the Louisiana Territory to the United States of America for $15 million, which is now dubbed the Louisiana Purchase. In his final years, he was exiled to a remote British-held island, where he died on May 5, 1821, probably due to stomach cancer. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed.